You know that feeling when you walk into, like, a massive sports bar or maybe a
Oh, yeah, or a high-tech command center. You just get hit by this giant glowing wall of screens.
exactly. And you're usually just staring at the game or at the data. You rarely think about the actual brain making it all happen.
Right, we just expect the video to be perfectly synchronized. The machinery behind the curtain is, completely ignored.
Well, today we are pulling back that curtain for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We are decoding the invisible technology that powers those mind-bending video walls. And to do this, we're zooming in on a really fascinating piece of hardware from HDTV Supply.
Yeah, the Avenview DVI-ProWall-9X.
Right, which we're using as a shortcut to help you understand high-end AV infrastructure in general. So let's just get right into the core specs here.
Sure. So despite having 9 display right there in the name, it's actually a bit of a misnomer. The physical capability goes well beyond 9. It actually supports up to 12 distinct DBI or HDMI outputs.
Oh, wow, up to 12.
Yeah, up to 12. And while it easily handles crisp 1080p for modern digital inputs, it hasn't forgotten legacy systems either. It can process WXGA, which is a 1920 by 1200 resolution for older, VGA or component signals.
So it really bridges that gap between the old and new tech. And looking at the physical design, it uses these PCIe add-on cards inside the chassis. It actually reminds me of like a highly customizable Lego set, but for video routing.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, because it's not just a rigid sealed box. If your specific scenario demands more screens, you literally just snap in more output ports.
Modularity is totally the key there. You're building exactly the pipeline that your specific room requires.
Okay, but since we know the hardware can physically connect all these screens together, the natural next question for you is, how do you actually bend and shape the video to fit across them all seamlessly?
Heh.
Just plugging in a cable doesn't magically stretch a live basketball game across 12 screens without horribly distorting the players, right? I
Yeah.
mean, how does that work?
Right. No, it definitely doesn't. And that is where the processing software takes over. You actually control this processor using a PC or a laptop connected over standard Ethernet, or you can use an RS-232 connection.
Which is basically a highly reliable old-school serial cable, right?
Exactly. They use those heavily in commercial AV. Through that interface, you can manipulate the display area for every single output independently.
Every single one.
Every single one. You can do picture-in-picture, side-by-side split screens, and you can resize, reposition, flip, zoom, or even rotate the input video.
Okay, wait. Let's unpack this for a second. At a pretty hefty MSRP of like $6,799, why does this require a dedicated 2.5 rack unit size box?
Right.
I mean, why couldn't a standard powerful computer just output to multiple screens?
Well, a standard computer processes video sequentially through its CPU and GPU. It actually has to think about each frame, one by one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if you try to stretch a high-definition video across 12 screens using just a PC, one screen is inevitably going to lag a millisecond behind another. You get that jarring tearing effect right down the middle of the image.
Ah, so the hockey puck is moving smoothly on one screen,
Uh-huh.
but the player's stick is like delayed on the screen right below it.
That is the exact issue, yeah. This processor, on the other hand, isn't just a basic splitter. It uses dedicated hardware logic to parse and distribute the uncompressed HD signal simultaneously to all the outputs.
Like at the exact same microsecond.
Yes, zero latency. Plus, it is completely HDCP compliant, which means it seamlessly handles the digital handshakes required by copyright-protected video. A regular PC trying to split a protected HDMI signal will honestly often just give you 12 blank screens to prevent piracy.
Wow. So it really is an all-in-one switcher, converter, and splitter. And this is exactly why this matters for you, the listener. The next time you are sitting in a massive venue, just staring at a perfectly synchronized 12-screen video wall, you'll know there is a sophisticated modular brain like the Avenview operating behind the scenes to make it happen.
It really does completely change how you look at the digital architecture around you once you know it's there.
It definitely does. Which leaves you with a final thought to ponder. If a single commercial processor can effortlessly flip, zoom, and stitch together our visual reality across a dozen screens at once without us noticing, how much of the media we consume in public spaces is being seamlessly manipulated without us ever noticing the seams?